What NASCAR just did to Tyler Reddick might be the most controversial moment of the 2025 season. And before you say it's just a penalty, stop, because when you see the full picture, you're going to realize this isn't about one pit road call. This is about something NASCAR does not want you to connect. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let me be clear right now. This weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway looked like a normal race on the surface. Chaos, mistakes, Bristol being Bristol, but the moment you start pulling the thread, the inspections, the penalties, the pattern, everything starts feeling like it was pointed at one team specifically. And that team just happens to be the hottest team in NASCAR right now. That's not a coincidence. That's a storyline. So stay with me, because we've got two massive stories coming out of Bristol, and they hit completely differently. The first one might permanently change how you watch NASCAR penalties this season. And the second one? It's already reshaping the entire power dynamic of the sport. This is not routine. This is a turning point. Real quick, if you're a NASCAR fan who actually wants to understand what's going on behind the scenes, not just who won, hit that like button and subscribe right now. This channel is brand new. We're building toward 15,000 subscribers, and this is where real fans talk about what's really happening. Now let's go. Here's where Bristol started falling apart, and it started before the green flag even dropped. Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick both had their cars shipped to NASCAR's R&D center in Concord, North Carolina, after the race. Now, veterans of this sport know what that usually means. NASCAR either saw something, suspected something, or is laser focused on teams running at the front. And both of those guys have been fast, like really fast. But here's the twist. After tearing both cars completely apart, nothing, no violations, no penalties, completely clean. So NASCAR ripped apart two championship-caliber cars, found zero wrong, and sent them back. Now ask yourself, why does that keep happening? We'll get back to that, because the answer might surprise you. But before we even got to the post-race stuff, Bristol was already blowing up. Pre-race inspection, an absolute mess. 5 teams penalized before the race started. Kyle Larson, Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain, Cole Custer, and Chad Fincham. Most of them lost their car chiefs and pit selection. At Bristol, a track where pit strategy and track position are basically everything. You mess that up before lap 1, and you're already in a hole. The only exception? McDowell, who lost his engineer instead. Different penalty, same damage. And then the race itself? More chaos. Pit road speeding penalties piled up. Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski. That's 5 drivers caught going too fast on pit road. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got hit with a safety violation. Michael McDowell had too many crew members over the wall on lap 255. Zane Smith was penalized for equipment interference on lap 131. This race was not clean. Not even close. It looked clean because nobody won from the back. But the penalties were everywhere. Then, over in the Truck Series, something happened that nobody's letting go of. Christian Eckes made contact with Corey Heim late in the race. If you know the history, and if you watched the 2024 Truck Series Championship battle, you definitely do, then you know there is real tension between these two. Eckes clipped Heim going into turn 1 and sent him straight into the wall. The internet erupted immediately. Fans were split down the middle. Intentional, revenge, racing incident. NASCAR talked to Eckes. No penalty, no punishment. So officially, it's a racing incident. But unofficially, that beef is nowhere near over. Keep watching that storyline, because it's going to resurface. Now here's where everything gets real. Because out of everything that happened at Bristol, one moment is still reverberating through the garage, and it involves Tyler Reddick. After the race, he spoke out. And he did not hold back. Reddick said the pit road speeding penalty didn't just cost him positions. He said it completely destroyed their entire race. And if you know Bristol at all, you know exactly how brutal that is. He had a fast car. He was near the front. He had momentum. And then one call, one penalty dropped him deep into traffic. And at a track like Bristol, once you're buried in the field, you're not coming back. The rhythm is gone. The track position is gone. The race is basically over. But then, and this is where it gets really interesting, Reddick didn't just stop at the penalty. He went further. He pointed directly at NASCAR and made a statement that has the entire NASCAR world talking. He said it out loud. With 4 wins in the last 7 races, it feels like 23XI Racing is being watched more closely than everyone else. Week after week, their car gets pulled for deeper inspections. He acknowledged that NASCAR is doing its job, but said it's starting to feel excessive. More than that, he suggested that when a team starts winning at that level, the attention shifts, that things change, that it starts to feel like NASCAR is trying to find a way to slow them down. That is a massive statement. That is a driver, a winning driver, essentially saying the system might not be neutral. Think about what that means if it's true. And then think about what it means that even with all that scrutiny, they keep coming up clean. Because that's the detail nobody's talking about. After Bristol, Reddick's car was sent to the R&D center again, and they found nothing again. So NASCAR tears apart his car with a microscope, and the result is always the same: completely legal, completely clean, 0 violations. So either 23XI Racing has figured out something that nobody else in the sport has found yet, or this level of scrutiny needs a real explanation. Both possibilities are worth talking about, and both of them are uncomfortable. Here's my honest take as a fan, and I want you to push back on this if you disagree. NASCAR is not doing anything outside the rulebook. Pit road speeding is black and white. You're either over the limit or you're not. And the inspections? That's their job. Dominant cars always get extra attention. That's just how this sport works. Every team that's ever run at the front has gone through this phase. But, and this is the part that matters, both things can be true at the same time. NASCAR can be completely within their rights, and Tyler Reddick can still be right that the pressure feels different. Because when you're winning 4 of 7 races, then getting penalized, then getting inspected, then being cleared, then doing it all over again the next week, it stops feeling random. It starts feeling like a pattern. And patterns mean something. Here's the bigger picture that Bristol actually showed us. NASCAR is tightening everything this season. Pre-race inspection violations, mid-race penalties, post-race teardowns. The margin for error is shrinking. The net is getting tighter. And the teams feeling that pressure the hardest are the ones running fastest. So, in a twisted way, getting scrutinized this much is almost confirmation that 23XI Racing is the real deal right now. But here's the question that's going to follow this team all the way to the playoffs. If they keep winning, and NASCAR keeps pulling their car, and they keep coming back clean, at what point does the narrative flip? At what point does the story stop being about whether they're cheating and start being about whether they're simply the best car in the field? Because right now, nobody can answer that. And that unresolved question is exactly what makes the next few months must-watch television. Bristol gave us a race that looked calm on paper, but underneath it, we saw inspection failures, pit road chaos, a truck series incident with serious history behind it, and one of the hottest drivers in the sport openly questioning the way NASCAR is operating. That's not a quiet weekend. That's a pressure cooker with the lid still on. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments, because I think this is genuinely split. Is NASCAR just doing their job, enforcing rules that apply to everyone equally? Or does it feel like 23XI Racing is being targeted specifically because they're winning? There is no wrong answer here. And honestly, your answer might say more about how you watch this sport than anything else. Drop it below. And if this kind of real, deep NASCAR breakdown is what you've been looking for, subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're brand new. We're building toward 15,000 subscribers. And we're just getting started. Because if Bristol felt this intense, wait until Kansas. Wait until we get deep into this season. Because whatever is building right now between Tyler Reddick, 23EXI Racing, and NASCAR itself, this is only Chapter 1.